Dr. James Levine, the professor of medicine at the Mayo Clinic, one of the biggest clinics in America, had a statement that said sitting is the new smoking. It kills more people than HIV, it's more treacherous than using a parachute, and we are essentially sitting ourselves to death. What does he mean by that? Basically, the lack of movement that we have in our lives is causing more diseases and deaths to us. The first big one is cardiovascular disease. The Heart Association has stated that people that don't do daily activity have a 50% higher chance of getting heart disease. And studies show that people that live a sedentary lifestyle have a 15% more chance of death by cardiovascular disease. I understand that we don't want to think about these statistics, but the reality of the situation is if you're working at a desk all day and you don't do daily activity, your chances are getting greater and greater and greater. 52.7% of Europeans over the age of 18 are overweight or obese. The World Health Organization reports that over 2 billion people are overweight and 650 million people are obese worldwide. That is a quarter of the world's population overweight. 52% of people over 18 are overweight in Europe. We have a major problem. It's 1 in 2 chance that you're overweight. That's pretty damn grim. Now, the last big problem that we have in modern society is chronic pain. 20% of people that work at desks report some kind of chronic pain. So back, shoulder, neck. That's persistent long term. According to the Centre of Disease Control and Prevention, lack of mobility is the leading cause to this chronic pain. I first got introduced to mobility over 12 years ago when I done my Pilates training. Since then, I've done countless yoga, mobility workshops, okay? I have helped tons and tons of clients that don't have a lot of energy, don't have a lot of time, and just want to feel better in their bodies through mobility. Mobility takes less effort and time than going for a walk, especially in Ireland when the weather's pretty shit. If you're not taking a proactive approach to looking after the body's movement, you are slowly deteriorating its ability. The old phrase, if you don't use it, you lose it, stands true. I can promise you. If you work at a desk and right now you are saying, I don't have a lot of pain, my body feels okay, that's absolutely brilliant. But if you feel as if you're getting stressed mentally from the job that you're doing, one of the best ways to reduce your stress and regulate your nervous system is to get into your body, practicing some embodiment exercises. And a very great place to start is mobility. It's just like a very simple approach. You don't need to get too spiritual. You don't need to get into anything too complex. You don't really need any education. You just need some guidance to say, like, what exercise do I do now and next and next and next. I will not be able to explain in this video all the benefits. Like, if you're getting into mobility and stretching, like, this is the surest way of really unlocking the body's potential. And that's what I mean, like unlocking. Because if you can't put your hands over your head, if you can't touch your toes, if you can't do some basic rotational movements, you are essentially locked up. Your body is tight. Your posture is probably very poor from working at a desk all day. When your posture is poor, then you can't breathe correctly. You can't expand your rib cage. Your body doesn't move the way it should move. The athletes that stretch the most in the Olympics are weightlifters, because they do not want any joints being stiff, sore, immobile when they're trying to pull or lift personal best weights, crazy weights, 3 times their body weights, 3.5, 4 times their body weight. Athletes need perfect mobility. You can see it in any sport that every single athlete will have a mobility coach, or their coach will implement really good mobility strategies. Depending on the athlete, depending on what strategies and drills they need to practice. But just because you're working at a desk doesn't mean you shouldn't have your drills and your practices. You have to. We're living in an age now where if you don't work on fighting against the society norms, you are going to end up with pain, being overweight, or some kind of disease. And it's not an if, it's a when. I'm not trying to put fear into you. It can take small amounts of effort that will have a massive effect against fighting off all these diseases and pains that we might get if we do nothing. So, what can you expect if you start to do some mobility drills, some mobility workouts, if you jump on my 10-day mobility program? I can guarantee that after the 10 days, you will have better joint health. So, if you have any pain in the area, your lower back, your neck, your shoulders, I can guarantee that we will work to make that joint move better. Another thing that I will guarantee is that we create better balance. Typically in the body, we hold tension and pains in different places. For example, me, my left shoulder and right hip. There's a cross sectional here with my body that my right hip is stiff and my left shoulder is stiff. And typically most people find this, that one side of their body has more tension and strain than the other. We are asymmetrical beings. We all have a preferred hand to write with, to swing with. If you played sports, for example, most people are going to have one foot, one leg that they kick the ball, etc., etc. So with this preferred movement, tension builds up, okay? And what we want to do when we get older is to have balance in our bodies. Another big important factor is improved muscle function. You'll have better circulation and your muscles will be able to go into what we call their passive and active ranges through mobility. What does that mean? It means that you might only be able to lift your arm this high, but after practice, you'll be able to lift your arm up higher actively. So there's no pain, there's no strain. My arm can get into this position comfortably. So the active range of these muscles are better, improved, bigger range of motion. And circulation. With bigger ranges of motion becomes better circulation, because the muscle, the tissue is more malleable, more pliable, the fascia around the muscles are stretched and they're more responsive. This helps with circulation in and out of the muscle. There's less blocks, less tension, less tightness, so the circulation will improve. Also, you're exercising the body in that moment you're doing your mobility, so that's going to help circulation. With better mobility comes better posture. If you have poor posture, it can be difficult to breathe. If you have poor posture, you are asking for chronic pain, no matter what. If you have poor posture, you're going to create imbalances because your body is in a position that it should not be in. Working at a desk all day or doing any repetitive movement all day, like cutting hair, like working on an assembly line, you will cause repetitive strains, no matter what. So you're going to have muscles that are doing the same things over and over. And then on the other side of those joints, those muscles are getting stretched but not worked. So we have to do mobility to get this balance in our bodies. Now, improving your posture also has massive implications for how you are perceived in the world and also your own confidence. If someone has poor posture, we will perceive them in a certain way automatically. We are animals at the end of the day. Skin, posture, stature, energy, this energetic field that we have off us, all are communicated through body language. Body language is essentially 70% of our communication. And if you have poor posture, instantly that communication from your posture is telling people around you something. So it's very important that we maintain good posture. Lastly, I want to speak about the strains, the pains, and the physical stress of having bad posture and not doing mobility. Now, going to the gym, doing runs, that's all fantastic. It's absolutely essential to maintain good health. But equally is mobility work, okay? You can go running all the time, you can go to gym all the time, but if you're not doing some mobility and stretching, you are not releasing this physical tension that happens. Even if you do nothing, like I said a moment ago, at a desk all day, physical tension is manifesting all the time. You need to release this tension, okay? And by doing that, you're going to be sending signals from the body to the brain that there's less physical stress and tension. Now, what this will do for your brain is telling your brain that we have less stress. And this is going to improve your mood, it's going to improve your ability to focus, and it's essentially going to enhance your cognitive function. Because if the body is in chronic pain, this is essentially a signal coming from the body to the brain, and we numb it out, but there's only so much numbing we can do. If you ever worked at a project, you'll notice after a while you start rubbing your neck, you're like, oh, that's your body sending this signal to your brain for the last 10, 20, 30 minutes, maybe hours. But it's only at that point we get past the tipping point and we have to take a break. But for the last 20 minutes, hour, the signal's still going to the brain. Stop, what you're doing is hurting me. What you're doing is hurting me. We've just trained ourselves not to listen to this. Now, if you didn't have any pain or any strain and the posture's good, you're feeling good circulation, good range of motions with your joints, your brain doesn't have this signal to numb out. Okay? So basically then, it's one less thing stressing your brain out. And your body, your body to your brain is the most important. It's your vessel to do whatever you need to do. We can numb out the body, but I promise you, parts of the brain, that's their main function, is to listen to the body. Your heartbeat, your cells, everything in the body is most important for your brain, not the outside world. So where do you start? If you have some pain in your body, you're not sure on what to do, maybe you tried some yoga videos on YouTube or mobility videos and you kind of found that this hasn't been great for you. I have a 10-day program that is specifically designed for professionals that work at desks. We go through the body in a sequential order, starting with the arms, shoulders and neck. Then we move down to our upper back, lower back, hips, legs, feet. Then once we complete all those, we do a flow where we kind of incorporate all those movements that we've been learning since the previous days and incorporate that into a flow. It's done in a way that I can guide you and help you. So if you find some pain or strains or you need specific exercise on a certain part of your body, I can input these into your profile so you get extra practice on specific areas. I want to showcase my skills. I want to show you how good I am at my job and I want to give back. This is completely free. You don't need any credit card details, nothing like that. You can sign up with the link below or through my socials. I have a link on my Instagram and you just click the link, fill out the form and you will be directly into the program. No strings attached. Like I said, this is how I showcase my skills and this is my way of giving back to you guys. I hope you found some value in watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I promise you, small bits add up. The 10-day program is very gentle and I can guarantee that you will find that even a little bit will have a massive effect on how your body feels and how your brain functions.